Welcome back. This is the 6th installment of the Clarity series where we talk about passion. And we're really going to get off topic with this one. You know what I'm saying? But first off, I am your host, Nicholas Johnson. But I do want to introduce the rest of the crew. D-Win, Christian Hill, Juice Man representing over there. I see you. Calvin Robertson, Brian Waves. Go get that. If you haven't listened to Lambo, go get that.
Go get that Lambo Deja Vu on all streaming platforms. Spotify going crazy.
Yes, sir.
Rain Forever Need More Music Group.
Funny dog.
Before we get into it, Cal, how does it feel?
You say how does it feel?
Yeah, how does it feel to be like to see your fruits starting to come to fruition? The labor of your fruits start to come to fruition.
It's cool, bro, because a lot of things that, prime example, like Nipsey said, he said one of the only things that separates him from everybody else that did it is he never quit, he never stopped, right? So he kept going. So I think that's the cool part to see, bro. If you continue working hard and having ambition and being dedicated to what you're truly passionate about and not letting anybody deter you from that, you're gonna accomplish it. And so I think that's been the most fulfilling part for me, is knowing that I didn't stop. And there's times that I could have stopped when things weren't going my way, when moments only had 2,000 streams and people really weren't digging the song. And then you come out and I wait a year and some months to drop second song because I was getting prepared and getting in my bag and making sure everything was tightened up. And then you come back with Lambo and you do 100,000 streams in a month off a second release with a budget that you don't have. You can't tell. Come on, I'm telling you. Can't tell me nothing, man.
Good work, man, Cal.
100,000.
Man,
I remember when you told me we had 15,000 streams. I was like, we don't even know 15,000 people. I said, we don't really know 2,000 people got it. How you get 15,000 streams?
Oh yeah.
But 100,000 in 1 month, man. You doing it, dog.
salute to you, my boy. Salute to you. Congratulations on all the success, man. Much more on the way, too, man.
But it's our success, man.
But so let's get back on topic. So I know that everybody is currently, obviously, the sixth. Everybody in the group is of African American descent, or as Calvin like to say, black, which is black. And everybody's been watching. Everybody's got a social media platform. Everybody's been watching what's going on in the world. I wanted to talk briefly about Ahmaud Arbery and then get everybody's kind of perspective. But even when we were discussing, when Soup and I were discussing the topics on Wednesday, the only thing that had really happened or that had come to our attention was Ahmaud. And then after that, you had George Floyd. And then you had Breonna Taylor. And you had a couple more people. And then now you have the riot.
And some more people, man.
You know what I'm saying? And I just saw a guy today get attacked by police officers and their police dog and the canine unit. So and he didn't have anything on him. He was literally just hands up and turned around and put both hands behind his back and they stick the dog on him. So I was like, whoo, it's getting wild out here. So if anybody wants the floor first, you in, so what's up? You representing OJ.
Hey, first of all, I want to just thank y'all for for what we doing. We just got to just like Calvin said, man. We just keep pushing. What we doing, man. But man, whew, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. It's a lot going on, man, and I definitely I've been having to take some mental breaks of what's going on, but it doesn't stop. It's not going to stop, and I've been talking to my mom every day just to get a peace of mind, but it just, man, it's the tip of the iceberg. It's one of those things where it's been going, the injustice, the police brutality, just everything. It's been going on too long, and we let too many things slide, and we didn't help as a Black community. We didn't help sweep it on the rug. We should have been voicing our opinions hard, you know, a long time ago, you know, when Trayvon Martin, you know what I'm saying? It's one of those things where we need to continue standing up for what we believe in. You know, if that's sacrificing, you know, like Kev said, what are you going to sacrifice? You know, it's in us right now. We have the world's attention right now, and we can't just let, you know, the distractions remove what's really going on. You know, we got to continue this, and if it takes, you know, 2, 3, 4 months of, you know, just everyday protests, that's what's gonna happen. We can't do it 1 or 2 days. You know, we got to continue on and really voice our opinions. And you know, I just feel like we digging up a lot of history, a lot of history that a lot of black, brown, white, they don't know about. You know what I'm saying? It's really like it's really just history just being dug up, and it's deep, and it's bringing up, and it's opened up a lot of boxes. You know what I'm saying? And we just, you know, at the end of the day, man, we gotta, as individuals, we gotta do our part, you know, and whatever you feel that is, you gotta do it to the fullest.
I feel that. So how do you feel?
I got a lot of mixed feelings, but there's 3 points I want to make sure I make, because I want to make sure I say less about this. I want to get them saying less and doing more. So I'm going to try to be brief, but just bear with me on these 3 quick points. First, I want to piggyback off Juice. I think that we just got to do more. I think, in my opinion, I feel like we all know that oppression and discrimination and racism has been going on as deep as rooted in this country as everything else. But I feel like the riots of 68 and the riots in 92 and all the destruction that was created by the black and brown people were so destructive that it got people's attention. And I think racists went back into their closets. Klan members went back into political roles and tried to find new ways to control the narrative and control the system until Trayvon Martin happened. And when Trayvon Martin happened, it was the first time in our generation that we seen something so blatantly wrong, where it's a murder on camera and the man walked. And based on our inexperience or shock, maybe, we kind of let it slide. And once George Zimmerman kind of got away scotch-free, I feel like that gave all the closet racists and all the bigots and all the people who just want to do these malicious things to black and brown people, or anybody of any race who wants to do any harm to anybody of another continent or color, kind of gave them permission that if you have a good enough lawyer, have the right amount of money, and you know the right people, you can get away with it. And I think that's kind of where things start to go downhill. The second point I want to make is that I got the same point I made on Friday. We have to be more proactive because we just have to do more. Like I said, I want to say less and do more. And I just want to continue to collaborate with minds like you guys, leaders in our black and brown communities, our non-black and non-colored people who are in leadership positions that are allies to the minority community, who may want to assist us because they're sick of the blasphemy that's happening as well. And I know colored isn't PC right now, but for lack of a better term. And then the last point, and this is the one I want y'all to really think about, and this is what bothers me the most about the entire situation. Go back and look at the pictures. Go back and look at the videos. And look at that officer's face. As he has his knee on George Floyd's neck, bro, he has this look on his face like, you can't touch me. What are you going to do about it? You mad, but so what? And it's that arrogance, that knowing that they're safe is the same thing that took George Floyd's life, Breonna Taylor's life, Ahmaud Arbery's life, Alton Sterling, Philando Castile, Trayvon Martin. It's too many to name. You feel me? Sandra Bland. And it's terrifying to know that arrogance can have each one of you great young black men who are trying to do great things in the community, where your legacy has resulted to a hashtag, and that's it. And that's demoralizing. That's terrifying. That is truly tragic, bro. And it's hard to walk around knowing that is the reality of our country right now.
I feel that. Yeah, I mean, I know we've been allotted some privileges that others may not have due to the fact that we got, most of us in here. Actually, I think everybody in here, everybody in our group has a degree, and then most of us have a second as well. So we've been allotted a lot of privileges that most won't get, you know. And I feel like, and I tell people all the time, I said I have a little sense of privilege in my own Black community. It's not white privilege, nobody anywhere near means that, but it's a sense of privilege that, you know, I feel that I pass a state in most circles. I speak correctly, how they deem and they feel that I should speak. You know what I'm saying? I carry myself in a way that doesn't seem fearful, but Soup can attest to this, that, you know, if I speak the wrong way, they definitely pay attention. They definitely listen. I always have to remind myself that I'm like, you know, hey, cool, you know, you're Black. Just because you speak well doesn't, most people all see is they see the beard and they see your skin color. They just see an angry Black man. They don't see somebody that's passionate about what they're speaking about. They just think that, oh, he's enraged and he's about to snap. And I think that's what, for a lot of people, and for a lot of police officers, and they're not all bad. I'm not saying that every police officer is bad, because I know a lot of police officers. I have police officers in my family, but there are some police officers out there that are like, that's the first thing that they want. They're like, oh. So, yeah, I mean, it's definitely trying times. Does anybody else want to comment before we switch topics?
Hey, I just want, in this time, I want everybody to recognize the power that is within our own community. Like the power, for real. As a consumer, as a voter, and as just a regular civilian in this country, like, we hold a lot of power within our community, and we've caught their attention with the actions to this point. As Devontae hinted on, it's going to take some proactive behavior from this point forward to continue to, like, get the progress we're looking for real. But, like, we really got to take it, like, look at the power that's within us and take advantage of it. We got to quit allowing these outside people to exploit us. And we need to take a look in the mirror and, like, look, how can I get the most out of my own talents? How can I get the most out of my own situation? I think we'll be straight. But we got to take it inward. We got to look and, like, love ourselves. We got to love the power we got, and then, like, press forward with it. We be straight. That's my little piece on that, though.
Bro, fans don't win the game. Players do. Like that, I think people don't understand that enough. Like, I even caught myself doing it. Just to be completely honest, when I caught myself in a position where I was like, okay, just to be real, white people have to get tired of it because they're the ones in power. So kind of caught myself in we got to push them to make some change because they're the ones that have the power right now. They're the governors and the senators and whatnot. But at the same time, like I just said, fans don't win the game, players do. So snapped out of that mentality real quick and understand, kind of going what Christian was saying, we have to realize our own power. We have to realize the only things that we can do as a community to elevate. Talking about what Soup and Juice were talking about. Keep going, keep pushing, keep doing what we're doing, keep elevating. We can't stop, can't let us fall back into a mentality of we're not going to be able to come out of this, because if we do, then it's just going to lead to a situation where we just remain stagnant and no progress is ever made. So that's really, in short.
That's what's up. All right. So I want to redirect. It'll keep somewhere in the same climate, but so everybody knows, obviously, you know, we spoke last time on episode 5 about the climate and the economy, and the pandemic is still going on due to all, even though all these riots. And the worst part is that the pandemic is killing the majority of, at least killing, not infecting, at least killing minorities. And who is rioting right now are the minorities. So I want to talk briefly about the economy. And then kind of let the job force. You know, there's like 40 million people unemployed right now in America, and it's just about as bad as the Great Depression. But how does everybody feel? What's everybody have going on? If most of our viewers can tell, I'm in a new space. My girlfriend and I moved in together, so we are now moved. So we now moved in, but it's looking on the brighter side for me in terms of a job. But a lot of places that I applied to, a lot of places that I was about to get interviewed with, were on a hiring freeze due to due to the pandemic. So how is everybody else dealing with this?
I've been fortunate to keep my job through all of this. My employer was considered like an essential business and kind of provide me a little more stability throughout this all. But for real, I'm just blessed, man. Every day I wake up and I'm able to like put in the work to get like a kickback, like provide for myself, man. It's a blessing. I could be one of those 40 million and really be in an uncertain place, but I'm blessed, and I can't say no other way. I'm blessed right now, man.
That's what's up. Cal, I know Orange Theory just reopened back up. How you feeling? How does it feel about it? Does it feel awkward? Does it feel weird to be back in the studio?
I wouldn't necessarily say that it feels weird, but just knowing that we have something going on behind us that caused all this to happen, I think is the weird part for me. You know what I mean? Because we just heard COVID for the last 3 months heavily. You know what I mean? And then you get back
acting like it didn't happen.
And now Georgia's acting like exactly like it didn't happen. Then you see so many different things coming out research-wise, especially being heart rate-based training, but we do a lot of high-intensity interval training too as well. So like the CDC and the rules and regulations on even studies on how far the sweat flies and stuff like that, like just puts you on almost like defense, you know what I'm saying? Because you start looking around like, okay, well, damn, if the sweat flying this far and then we have to keep people this far apart and stuff, take all that into consideration. So I think it's weird from that standpoint. If you just don't think about those things, it makes you become a lot more conscious about the certain things in your environment, you know, when you have a situation like this.
So, how you holding up?
My bad, I was trying to talk and I forgot I was muted. But how do you guys think that this second wave that everybody's mentioning of the COVID will affect those jobs and those people who did rush to open back up? I know where I am right now, especially if we're just focused on restaurants, about half of the franchise chains aren't opening their doors for dine-in services. They're just still doing the drive-through method. But a lot of these self-owned, privately owned restaurants or just local mom and pop shops are going back to just regular scheduled programming and just trying to practice social distancing by closing a booth or two here or eliminating a serving area. So my question is, how do you think that dynamic of opening back up so soon in Georgia will affect businesses, restaurants, and commerce moving forward?
I think it's all about money right now, and I think that the reason that Governor Kemp decided to open up so soon, even though we were one of the last states to close, is the fact of like he's got to get our economy moving back in the right direction. Could be possibly about a political, for political interest. It could be the fact that he doesn't want to pay too many people unemployment. There's a bunch of factors that I don't necessarily know because obviously I'm not in that camp, so I don't know. I can just speculate on. But I think it's smart for the people, for the large food chains that have the luxury of not opening up their dining doors. For example, like Chick-fil-A. Like Chick-fil-A is still booming. You know what I'm saying? People are still buying Chick-fil-A, right? Because you can go through the drive-through, and they have a bunch of different ways. I mean, I've been to Chick-fil-A multiple times, and they have where there's hardly any or very little contact, and the best part is that you can order through the app, so you don't have to really put down they just have to tell you where you're going. But so I think it's smart, but you're, like you said, like the mom and pop shops that have to, it's inevitable for them, or they're going to have to close down. Like you saw, like one of the ones that's been in one of the biggest major retailers in the U.S. for years. I think it was like 61 years they've been in business. Pier 1 Imports is shutting down completely. They're never going to open up again. So it's hitting people hard.
I saw that. And kind of, not to dominate the conversation, but to switch topics back to the individual base, how do you think it will affect that growing rate of unemployed people? Meaning, how are people supposed to manage their finances and or be smart with their money when there is so much uncertainty about how long unemployment is going to last, how long the bonus with the unemployment will last, and if unemployment runs out because the increased rate is being used, how will that affect people who can't find jobs afterwards?
I think at this point, you see a lot of people on, especially on like Twitter, like this is the best time for you to find like, your side hustle or invent yourself or become an entrepreneur. And it's easier said than done, but in a sense, like I do agree. You got to start thinking like survival mode. You got to start thinking about yourself personally and maybe necessarily your family around if you have to support them. So instead of spending all that unemployment, like it's spending on vital bills, but don't buy them sneakers because they drop, on the 13th, or don't go to the mall just because the mall opened back up. You might be hurting them, but it's not really about them right now. It's about you. Because at the end of the day, like, okay, cool, that large corporation, if that large corporation shuts down, that's got nothing to do with you. There's still, a lot of their CEOs and upper management are still going to be okay, completely okay. You, on the other hand, might be homeless. Mm-hmm.
That's the point I think that's most important, Nick. I know everybody's seen that tweet and you just hinted at it. You should come out of this pandemic with a new skill, XYZ. I think the most important thing to establish in this pandemic, bro, is discipline. If you ain't got nothing else, bro, if you ain't come up with no skill, if you ain't come up with no new talent, if you ain't got no new business venture, bro, if you came out of this pandemic, bro, in this quarantine or in this crazy time that we living in, bro, with more discipline, how you spend your money, where you spend your money, how you utilize your free time, what really interests you and how you want to push your life forward, who you spend your time with, how you leave your house and safely return. How do you stay disciplined in all your actions, both financially, personally, professionally, etc.? I think that should be people's focus during this pandemic, during the crazy spike in police brutality. That is odd to see every year, but that's a different topic. But I think that's most important. I think that's the way we should stress the most people, bro. If you don't find nothing else, bro, find your self-discipline during this pandemic.
I agree. You definitely need to find either discipline, responsibility. I mean, everything that you picture or it's talked about when you're growing up, you need to find that right now. Whether you're a young adult, whether you're still at your mom's house, whether you're 35 and got 3 kids, it don't matter. Find discipline in your financials and everything in your life in general, and hopefully it'll lead you in the right direction. And the sooner the better.
I'm gonna throw another word in there. I think kind of goes with discipline. It's like accountable. Like hold yourself accountable. Like when you see you slipping a little bit, like check yourself, and then like be able to look in the mirror and be honest with yourself and let you like acknowledge your actions, and then be willing to acknowledge the consequences of those actions, and then be better for it. For real. I think if we all hold ourselves accountable and those that we can trust and those that trust us accountable, like it'll raise awareness, it'll raise the way we carry ourselves, it'll raise the dignity in our community. Like it'll do a lot if we remain disciplined in our actions and hold one another accountable.
I agree. You're only cheating yourself if you don't.
Yeah.
All right, so I want to steer the conversation. Who all saw the Jordan documentary? I mean, I know you did. I know you did. I kind of caught a glimpse of it. Nothing crazy. I had other things going on. I couldn't focus in on 1 hour. But
ain't gonna lie, I ain't got cable. I ain't even watching, bro.
ESPN app free all day, every day, my boy.
Yes,
get on your phone, download the app. You good?
No Wi-Fi either.
Whew.
Hey, cooking expensive now.
Right,
look.
Hey, you gotta be disciplined, and you being disciplined.
You gotta be disciplined.
Be disciplined. But listen, since everybody didn't watch it, bro, and we are speaking about discipline, I do want to take the moment because I watched all 10 episodes a month in the 5 weeks as they show, and then I binge watched all 10 on the last Sunday, bro. And what I found most interesting about the entire series, I know there's been a lot of drama and controversy about what might have been true, what it might have been fabricated about the documentary, but what I want people to realize the most who did spend time watching it, bro, since we are talking about discipline, how disciplined Jordan was. He had a set goal. He had a set achievement that he wanted to reach in his mind. And that was not only be the greatest basketball player of all time, but to win championships by all means. He didn't care what team he started with at the beginning of the year. He didn't care about what obstacle he had to go in the 82-plus games each year. His discipline, his commitment to the process, and his willingness to not waver regardless of the adversity he faced is what makes Jordan Jordan. I think that's what makes Jordan the GOAT, not because he was 6 for 6, not because he was the only person to have certain stats, not because he transcended the game, even though those are all reasons why. I think what makes Jordan the GOAT is the way he went about his business. He didn't make no excuses. He didn't make no apologies. And the accountability that you just mentioned, Christian, he held himself to that standard. He forced his teammates to come up and meet him at that standard. He didn't take no off days, and he took the blame whether good, bad, or indifferent. And I think that's what I want people to notice most. It's a lot more important issues to tackle and address on tonight's episode, bro, and this month's episode than the Jordan doc. But I don't want people who spent time watching that documentary to miss that point, that he real life committed to the process to not only live a more purposeful and impactful life, but to become the best version of himself. And then Michael Jordan, all he want to do is become the best version of best basketball version of himself. And he's taking a lot of slack. He's taking a lot of criticism and a lot of media pressure over the years because of that. But at the end of the day, Jordan committed to his process to become the best version of himself that he envisioned for himself, regardless of how everybody else felt. So I want people to realize that, man, that if you trust God, commit to the process, and do work in the same fashion in which Jordan did, you're able to be that GOAT. You're able to win them championships. You're able to transcend not only a league, but a generation in the way that he did. So.
That's what's up. Anybody else?
That boy set a goal, though, man. That boy set a goal. Like, if you don't know where you're going,
gotta know where you're going.
That work, that discipline don't mean nothing, man. So set a destination. Like, it can be 10 years down the road. Like, and be realistic. Like, I think they call them smart goals. We can expand on that at a later time, but like.
No. Do that now, my guy. The SMART goal is. Like, just at least the acronym. Because I had some people ask me about the SMART goals. I want to make sure that we address what SMART goals are.
SMART goal, what is it? Let's see.
Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time measurable, right?
Yeah, that's it. So one more time. Specific,
measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-based.
Time-based. Boom. Yeah, time-based. You set you a goal and stay in that like frame, you're gonna be straight. Everything else gonna fall in line from that. As long as you trust God, commit to the work, commit to the process to do work, you'll be straight.
For sure. I agree wholeheartedly.
Okay. Anybody else? Thoughts, comments, concerns? How they felt about it? If they did get to watch it?
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and voice my opinion on it for real. Like, I salute Jordan the way he did, man. For real. Thank you. I'm marking his stuff to this day, so I won't take away from what he did for the game, the culture, all that, man. But it's time. It's more to celebrate. And that's I'm gonna say, like, it's more to celebrate. There's more to the game than what he did, bro. For real. It's more to the game what LeBron did. Like, there's so much talent in the game of basketball, bro. I just want to see more people get like they just do. Like, you ain't got it. It's not always about like a ring. It's not always about the leading scorer, bro. Like, if somebody out there is a dog on the court every night, his story for real, and like he really touching the community, I want to hear about that, man. You know, I want to hear more of just like
more than an athlete.
You feel me? They more than just a pawn on the screen, man. I want to really hear about them folks, man. So like, I appreciate Jordan. I salute Jordan. I salute the big three: Jordan, Kobe, LeBron. But like, let's really expand this thing, man. Let's celebrate these dudes with these God-given talents that we put on the pedestal, man. Because they so much more than somebody that put a ball in a hoop, run somebody over, make a tackle, hit a tennis ball. They so much more than that, bro. So like, I just want to hear more from them folks. Really. So salute Jordan, but like, that's it. Okay.
To piggyback off that, bro, I think it's a good place to recognize Jordan's team. Like, we all understand that people transcended things and what they did for the game, the Jordans, the Kobes, the LeBrons, the Magic and Birds, like, but they were all on great teams as well. And I think a lot of times the people in the spotlight get the attention, but it's the movers and shakers behind them that deserve some credit too. And I think it's important for people to realize that even if you ain't getting your flowers, my guy, even if you ain't getting the attention and recognition, That shouldn't stop you or deter you from doing the work that is needed, not only with your team, but in your life and in your community. Like, somebody is depending on you. Jordan couldn't have been Jordan without Scottie Pippen. Kobe couldn't have been Kobe without Shaq or Paul Gasol. To give you one better, Kobe couldn't have been Kobe without Derek Fisher.
Hey, Fish.
You feel me? So I think it's important to not only.
He got 5. I'm sorry, he got 5.
I think it's not only important to give everybody the flowers who have been talented and who are out there on the front lines. I think it's important to recognize and acknowledge those people who might not get those flowers, and to let them know that even if you ain't getting that recognition, we see you, we acknowledge you, we appreciate you. We couldn't do this without you, man. We couldn't do this without you. So I think that's another point we should make sure we make.
So I got a question for Calvin over there, because he's up and coming in the music industry. How does Jordan's drive transcend in terms of music? I know you spoke on it briefly earlier before we started this entire conversation, but do you feel like you have that same drive, or do you feel like you're still growing? Are you still working to that same drive? Are there things that are impeding you from obtaining that drive and that consistency and that commitment?
No, we have 2 different lanes, so it's different. When you just speaking from a solely basketball athletic standpoint, you know what has to be done. And you know it has to be done because you're working on refining certain skills. You're working on those same skills over and over again and sharpening that iron. It's different when you bring into play money, right? So as a basketball player, high school, you're broke, you don't have any money. College, your family's still broke, you still don't have any money, but you're still working on the same skills, sharpening that same tool. So how you get to success comes in 2 different fashions. I won't say I don't have the drive of Jordan. I don't have the direction. And the reason I say I don't have the direction is because I'm more than an artist. I'm more than someone that just gets up there and raps. Trying to not get lost in that mix and figuring out how you tie everything else in simultaneously. You see it all the time. People get to be 40 years old and stuff like that, and then they go back and start their own business as an artist. But I want to look now, that way everything keeps rocking and rolling. Everything platform builds on everybody else's platform. Just like once you get into like athletic coordinating and stuff like that, you're sitting in the back office at a multi-million-dollar franchise. Your platform elevates DoWork. When Suit out here and he's speaking to young kids and whatnot, and he's on his Eric Thomas, bigger than that, philanthropy work, everything like that, his platform builds up the entire group. So I think that's how I'm looking at it right now. So it's not that I don't have the drive, because I get up and work towards the same thing every day, and that's in essence, 1 is to be the best version of myself that I can possibly be. 2 is how do I elevate the community at the same exact time? And that's the part where I start to get off track a little bit and lose the direction. But in terms of music, nah, I got the drive for music. I still wouldn't be doing it. That's there, without a question. And I look at guys like Jordan. I look at guys like Kobe. When Kobe was practicing and he was shooting, and I forgot Buddy that was in there shooting with him too, but Kobe kept shooting after him because he was like, yeah, you're not gonna outwork me. And so, yeah, I'm not about, at any point in time, any artist in Atlanta is not gonna outwork me, because at the end of the day, I'm more than just an artist.
I like that.
I got a question to kind of piggyback off that before we wrap it up. And I know we kind of hinted at it early in the conversation, and Calvin really just brought it full circle, so I appreciate it. But in light of the current status of America and how high intensity things are just between people and of different races and backgrounds, what's one way we all can use our own individual platforms to make a difference, to promote change, to initiate the reform in which we all aspire to see? I know Calvin briefly mentioned that through his music and his other platforms being more than an artist, but I would love to hear him elaborate and hear all you other guys in your own respective ways, how you guys plan to kind of help take action. Even if you don't have a plan, what's something you would like to see done?
So I know my fault for coming back to it, but I think there's power in a collective unit too. And I think we lose sight of that sometimes is because we think what we can do on an individual level. But when you come together as a group and has one single entity and you move in a fashion where the seven of us collectively together sit down and you think of that long-term strategy and build a blueprint for it, and you go back to the community and say, hey, we have this, this, and this. This is going to do this. This is going to do this. There's power in that. So I feel from an individual standpoint, talking about how can we build up having our own platforms, what can we do right now? But I think it's come together though.
Okay.
I feel that. I mean, for me personally, I feel like it's just continuing to conduct myself in a positive outlook to the world, and hopefully I can spread that in a way where other people want to conduct themselves in the same way. And I'm not saying that other Black Americans conduct themselves poorly. Some do, but that's just in any race, period. But what I do want to do is to get to the point where not only myself, but every other Black person that looks like me, or maybe doesn't even look like me, is not seen as a threat, but seen as a threat and for the right reasons. Like, oh my God, he's powerful, he's intelligent, he's driven, he's focused, he could lead a company. That's what I want them to see, not the fact like, oh my God, he got a gun, or he about to sell my daughter drugs. And I feel like that's the stigma that a lot of people say, like, oh, he's about to rap, and he's about to rap vulgarly about something, and it just doesn't, it doesn't align with my views, or he's gonna do something, for lack of a better term. No, I'm not even gonna use the term, but you all know what I mean. And that's what I want to get away from, is that everybody's seeing the same light. It's like, and it's not going to be, because everybody's not going to be, but to hope to work towards that. It's like when I walk into a room, and when anybody walks in the room and goes, oh, how you doing? Adam, sit down. We have a meeting to discuss. We have something to discuss. Not about like, how is he gonna act if I tell him this news? So that's for me personally.
What Sue said, man. What's having a platform if you can't stand on it? We all done hit on it, being more than what you are, being proactive, doing more. In college, man, one thing that I pride myself on was being more than an athlete. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to just be that number. I just didn't want to be that, oh, you must play football. You look like a basketball player. You look like an athlete. You know what I'm saying? And that's one thing that when I having that goal and that vision in mind, and it only broadened that and only like enhanced that when I met y'all. You know what I'm saying? Y'all inspire me to do more and not just be, making tackles or catching, touchdowns and stuff on Saturdays, on Thursdays or whatever case, or and just in practice. We did more. You know what I'm saying? If you got a platform, why not express and voice what's going on? You know what I'm saying? Like Nick, like you said, you're trying, being a model citizen and doing and leading by example. You know what I'm saying? Doing your part and showing everybody that, you can have a 9 to 5, you can do this and this and that, you can, but if we all in that, we in that world of social media, we in that world of we can influence a lot of people. And if you we know that anytime that we walking in a building, and if we're meeting the 7 of us, we get compliments of we love to see that. We love to see a group of black young men meeting and talking about some stuff. You know, that's how we can create change, and that's how we can, you know, influence others to be like us, when we can lead by examples and we can be true to ourselves and stand on what we believe in, you know. And like what Calvin also said is, yeah, we of course, you know, we do things individual, but when we can come together, you know, more minds, you know, you got to control it, but more minds is better than one. You know, you can come in and clash as an army. You can defend anything that's going on. But you know, it's just one of those things where just do more, be more. Just like also what Savage said. You know, we celebrate, you know, Michael Jordan on accomplishment like that, but what else? Let's do more. Let's do more. You got the kids' attention. You got people looking up to you. Spread some influence and some positive free game in their lives. You know, you don't always have to go out there and dribble a basketball all the time. Read a book as well. You know, learn about some stuff. Do more. Do more.
I feel that a lot.
For me, man, my focus be like on the youth and the community, like going back and like really pouring the love into them. You ain't got to dribble a basketball to make this. You ain't got to be an athlete. You ain't got to be in the entertainment sector. Like, I really want to expose different avenues of life to these folks, man. Like, because we've all been fortunate to see, like, there's a number of avenues you can take to, like, provide a better life for you and the people around you. But, like, there's some people that haven't had the opportunity to see what we've seen. So, like, the knowledge that we got and the little tool we got, we need to go back and sharpen them folks, man. There's people that had never had the opportunity that we had. So, like, with the knowledge, bro, it's selfish of us to hold on to that game, man. Yeah. I hate to see people like run it up and then go. I don't think you need to go, man. Yeah, go get saved. Yeah, go get, you know, situated over there. But all that knowledge, man, pour it back, man. It was very unfortunate what happened to Nip, man. But like, that's not gonna be every situation, man. And when we start becoming more disciplined, when we start holding each other accountable in our communities, situations that happen in Nip don't take place no more. We protecting them folks, man. We recognizing the power in them words that they sharing with us, man. And we holding them, and we uplifting them folks, man. And I'm not talking about the BS folks with the entertainment. I ain't talking about the jokes. I ain't talking about no rappers, man. I'm talking about the folks that really know how to like fix your credit. The folks that really know how to like inform you on how to maneuver your debt, how to refinance your home, how to write a check, how to balance your checkbook. The simple tasks that, like, you know, fall through the cracks in today's life, but really are like essential skills, man. We need to uplift the people of them skills in those positions. So like, hey, bro, you are important in our community, man. You are needed in our community, bro. And you're the symbol that we gonna follow, man. I'm tired of looking at all these false guys, I'm gonna call them, man. I'm tired of all that, man. Scratch that. Let's recognize the real power in our community, the real movers in our community, the real shakers, and let's celebrate them.
So I like that. Agree with all that. Yeah. And what I heard was be proactive. I heard push the limits in your own lane. I heard grab some guys who like-minded and run like hell to the finish line, wherever that finish line may be. I heard that you should uplift and inspire and acknowledge those who are making the real difference. And I agree wholeheartedly. My challenge to not only the viewers and the audience who can hear my voice, but to the 4 young men I'm on the call with now, and the 2 who may be missing because of work obligations, for us to be that, for us to do that, for us to do the things that we know we talk about in private. Let's start standing on that in public. Let's start being the change that we want to see. And let's not wait or let's not wait for invitation or somebody else to do it so we can do it better. Let's go out here and get not on the front lines. When I say front lines, I don't mean we got to be picket sign. I ain't mean that we got to go fight the tear gas or anything like that. And there's nothing wrong with protesting. I think if you feel the right to protest, you should protest. But I also know there are other ways to be just as effective in this manner other than protesting. I think protesting is effective and important. Your voice must be heard. But let's find other ways as well after the protesting. After the picket line stops, after the marching ceases, what's our next step? And I challenge us and every other viewer of this video to do that.
That's what's up. So look, I want to thank everybody for tuning in to the 6th installment. We have some great content, some great fans. If you have anything, you know, I challenge all of our viewers to comment. You know, give us your thoughts in the comment section, to share our video. You know, to come a part, be a part of it. You know, subscribe and like, become a part of the DoWork family.
For sure.
And tell us what you want to see us do as young Black men. Give us feedback. So,
DoWork Impact Group. We want to do work and make an impact. It was intentional. Help us out. Let us know. We here for y'all, man. For sure.
But if anything, you know, like I said, if a man don't work, he don't eat.
You know,
Do work.
Let's go.
Yeah, sir.
There we go. So, but everyone have a good night.